Good morning. It is March 26th. It's springtime. And what a beautiful, lovely day it is. I'm excited about the approach of warm weather and the 2020 growing season. Even with all this coronavirus thing going on, and it's very serious. And of course, the economy has taken a tremendous hit from it. And I am concerned for everyone and myself. Still, it's a relief to actually be able to see the sun rising on a more direct path, the warmth of the sun, the lengthening of the days, and the beauty of spring. It's promising. I think we'll get through this. We're going to get through this. And so I thought I'd just video what's going on here with my fig collection for a few minutes today. Take advantage of this absolutely superb weather, kind of windy. Several weeks ago, I got my son to lift up all of the different coverings. The reason why I did that is because I was worried with the rising sun as we approach the summer solstice eventually, being more direct and beating down on the tops of these coverings, these tarps. I'm always concerned about overheating. It's something that I think everyone needs to really pay attention to and address, because I think more figs are killed when they're covered by the heat in the spring because they're left wrapped too long than actually the cold weather. But the cold weather will kill them. Oh, absolutely. They need to be covered. And we talked about that in other videos. We've addressed that several times. And you can look back at my other videos when I was covering these figs, for instance, and I go into great detail about all of that. But once again, and I brought it up before, but I want to bring it up again because it's so important. The heat can kill. When the heat just pounds, it just beats down all the time, relentlessly. And that sun is more direct now. We're not talking about a winter solstice. We're not worrying about a winter solstice sun in December or one that is still not very direct in the sky overhead in January or even February. But when you start getting into March, and certainly April, you've got to open these tarps up. You've got to let air flow through the bottom. You have to do it. You've got to make sure they don't overheat. And that's what I did several weeks ago. And because we won't be getting, several weeks ago, I wasn't worried about the temperature dropping down to, say, 6 degrees or 5 degrees or 0 degrees. So you're okay. You're okay. You can open them up. You can even take the tarps off. Now, I took this tarp off a few days ago, and I'm just going to leave it like this, because if a frost comes, and a frost might come, because it could frost all the way up to May 10th. And here we're the 26th of March. So I need to keep these protected, or in a position where I can protect them very quickly if a very sudden cold spell comes. But that's all that's really needed, is just some kind of cover from the frost. This is sufficient. And I'll just leave it like that for a few more weeks before I remove everything. So it's a gradual process. I don't just remove everything, at one time. But the point I'm trying to stress here is you have to make sure that your figs won't overheat. Your fig trees won't overheat in their wrappings, because the sun's just too much for them, and the warm weather that we get occasionally at this time of year. So it's much safer to open them up as much as you can and maybe keep them partially protected. Now, today I'm going to remove all of these tarps. These tarps are going to be removed. And I'm just going to leave whatever's underneath, like with these trees, I'll just leave that there in place, tied in place for the next few weeks. I might even open them up and use the tarps underneath, sort of like an ice cream cone effect underneath, to produce heat. And this will give you a jump on the season, okay? And that's important because remember, early fruiting. That's what it's all about with figs in the Northeast, okay? In California, in Arizona, places like that, we don't have to worry about that. But we certainly do need to worry about it in New Jersey and in Pennsylvania and Maryland and Virginia and New York and wherever you might be located. So we want to get early fruiting. So you can actually manipulate these covers sometimes and get them to serve as mini greenhouses, you know. And then when the cold weather comes at night, sometimes they say, oh, a frost is on its way. Well, you just quickly cover them up for the night. And then when the sun comes out the next day and it warms up, you open them up again until the danger of frost is completely over. And once the danger of frost is completely over, you can open them up and let the sun reach the buds and use the maybe tarp or whatever materials you might have as a mini greenhouse effect, you know, to once again, you know, to further this concept, you know, to promote this concept of early fruiting. That's what we need to do. Now let's take a look at this. Now I've removed this one completely. I'm going to remove them all. And I've got them behind the house. I've got them in different places. You know, I've got quite a few wrapped figs, quite a few trees in the ground. And so let's just take a look at this. And I'll show you. You can see that these buds are completely protected. They were completely protected. And there's absolutely no damage. There's no problem whatsoever. They did wonderfully. I would have never left this tree. I would never have left this tree to the mercy of the weather. Never. It wasn't hard to cover it. You can see that. In my other videos, you will see me wrapping it. It's easy. Now let's just see the results. Let's take a look. Get up here on this ladder. It's quite a ways up. And let's take a look and see what we got here. There we go. Oh, wow. How beautiful, huh? All right. Sorry about the camera moving around. All I have is my phone here. But you can see how beautiful these buds are. Look at this. These are just beautiful. And they're healthy. They're vibrant. They're alive. They're undamaged, completely undamaged, totally. And they're going to produce an abundance of fruit, which I am looking forward to this year, perhaps more than ever in my lifetime with all this other nonsense going on. I can't. Let me go up another step on this ladder. Be careful not to fall down here. Oh, there we go. You can see. There you go. Nice, beautiful, alive, and they're going to be productive. And the covering was a total, complete, absolute success, as it is every year. I also have a video, I believe last year, of the same thing, and photographs that I post on some of the forums. So, was it worth it? I've gotten actually some people that will say occasionally, oh, it's too much trouble for me. Well, wait a minute. And I've said this in previous videos. Wait a minute. Too much trouble. Well, there's the expense of planting a fig tree, buying it, growing it, or if you're going to take a cutting and nurture it up to the size of this thing. Look at this. It's, 9 foot tall. You do all that work, you fertilize it, you prune it, you take care of it, and you water it, and then you pick the fruit, and you have a beautiful tree come the fall, and you don't cover it because it's not worth it? Really? You let all of that work be wasted? All of your efforts, all of your expenses, and you let a beautiful tree like this, not you, but anybody, this is hypothetical, and they let a tree just fend for itself in a hostile environment during wintertime? No, not me. I'm going to cover my trees. And I encourage everyone in this environment, in this region of the country, and once again, I'm in Zone 7A, I encourage everyone to go ahead and take a little time. Throw a tarp over it. Squeeze it together. It's easy. Look at the other videos, how easy it was to pull this together with a rope. I pulled it together with a rope. I threw a quilt over it, and then I put a tarp over it. I also hung a light in here, which you can see on a previous video. I put a little light bulb in here, a 60-watt light bulb that comes on when it's necessary, and I have a switch in the house. I showed that in the other video, and here's my electrical box here that I do that in. It's so easy. It's simple. It's not hard. It's not complicated. Never think it is. And I've shown this before, how I do that and plug the various lights into. I removed this light and I took it away, and that one over there, but these others still have lights in them. As you can see here, you see this light going up there. See that? And that gives them extra protection if it should get really, really cold. But to be completely open and honest with you, I doubt very much that the lights, I mean, I don't think they were used hardly ever this past winter because it wasn't that cold. So just the coverings alone were enough to protect all the branches, as you can plainly see. You can see that. Okay. Thanks for visiting today. This is going to be a short video. I just wanted to talk about some of these conceptual ideas. These things aren't hard to do. It's not a difficult process. And I certainly recommend covering your figs in this zone. And look at the reward. A little bit of work. Practically none. Really. It's fun to do, actually. I enjoy doing it. They're my figs. I love working with my figs. I love being in my yard. I love gardening. I like it all. I mean, that's why I do it. If I didn't, I would stop. And so, is it inconvenient? No. Not to me. It's an excuse to get outside and to feel the rays of the sun, to breathe fresh air, to look at the environment, to listen to the birds, and to enjoy nature. And I'm protecting my fig trees, and then look at the reward. Not only did I preserve all that work and expense to grow a tree from a cutting or purchase an expensive fig tree somewhere and then grow it this big, okay, and then experience the reward by protecting it of all of the fruit. Imagine the fruit that this tree is going to produce this summer. Fresh, delicious fruit. Figs, a rarity that you can't buy in a store, not with the quality that you can get by growing them yourself and having the fruit ripen on your own tree, in your own yard, and free of any chemicals or sprays, organically grown. What a reward. It's worth it. I'll probably finish this video here just by taking a quick look at my Sagio persimmons, which you've seen on previous videos. My lovely, wonderful, beautiful, fascinating Sagio persimmons. And even here, March 26th, you don't see too much budding. They're starting to swell. Some of the branches I've noticed are starting. Let's take a quick look at that one. You can see that's starting. So spring is here. And this tree last year, if you look at the videos that I have posted on my site, was just absolutely loaded with fruit. And this one too. And all of the other persimmons in my yard. You might want to go back and take a look at those videos, those of you that are interested in persimmons. And once again, I'll reiterate, I certainly recommend to all the fig lovers out there and my friends and the people that are kind enough to view my videos, I hope they're useful to you. I certainly recommend that you, if you have the room, the space in your yard, to plant some persimmons trees, because it's a wonderful, wonderful fruit. And I value my trees immensely, immensely. And I know that you will too. You will value your trees as well. If you should follow my advice to give it a try. get yourself, this one here is, and we've talked about this before, Nikita's Gift, which is another one of my strongest recommendations. Okay, and you can look at my other videos for all the details of why I recommend this tree. The Seijo, which is a pure Japanese variety, and this particular variety here is a blend. Nikita's Gift is a blend between the American persimmons and the Japanese persimmons. It's actually a cross, and I go into detail in my other videos about that. But I certainly recommend. Notice how behind the Nikita's Gift is actually in budding behind the Seijo, and it is a bit behind, and it does produce a little later too. It produces a little later, just a little, but plenty of them will get ripe, and they are superbly delicious. And I highly recommend these two varieties. And look at my other videos if you're interested in persimmons. And you can't go wrong with those two varieties. I've been growing them for years, probably 40 years. Different varieties, not Seijo and not Nikita's Gift, but American persimmons and many, many other varieties of Japanese persimmons. And I've come down after all of these years. My strongest recommendations are the two that I just recommended. You know, and the Rosianka, you know, I like that too. That's another cross. I've got that out there near the field. And I certainly recommend that one too, because they're very, very hardy, and it's a delicious persimmons. But to my personal taste, I like Nikita's Gift more, and I like the way it produces better. I just like it better, but I like the other two. I do like several other varieties, and I speak about these varieties in other videos. So once again, thank you for visiting. I'm starting to get excited about the growing season. Here we have blueberries, and you can see they're starting to bud up nicely, and I'm looking forward to my blueberries. I also have a video posted with some of my videos in the backyard if you want to look at that. But the blueberry season is something that I cherish. I love all of my berries, my raspberries, my strawberries, my blueberries, goji berries. I have them all. Blackberries, I like them all. And I love growing. And I love today. And I love that it's spring. And everybody have a wonderful day. Take care.